I want to talk about how to hit your goals. 3 easy things that you can do. This is a simple checklist that we apply in our own office. We do it on a daily basis, and it helps us draw closer to our goals each and every day. I want you guys to hit your targets this year. I want you to hit your goals this year. Like, we have our own goals, we have our own targets, not just as a company, professionally. Like, we're going through trying to figure out how to hit these goals every single day. The beautiful thing about this is once you start seeing this in play and you start seeing it working and you start seeing it in action, you start hitting your goals and you start getting so much more confidence because you're like, I set a target and I hit it. Think about the last time that you set a target that you hit. Dude, it feels good. Think about the last time you set a target and you failed or you quit. It feels terrible, right? So if we can get you more on the side of winning more than you're losing, you're going to be in a better position. You're going to feel more confident. Your capabilities, your capacity to do something bigger will actually grow. And that's the secret. The secret is, how do I set a target that I hit so it builds confidence and momentum and allows me to go and do it again with something a little bit bigger? And then how do I go out and do it again with something a little bit bigger than that? And that's how you continue to incrementally build the successes and the wins that you're having in your life, is you use that momentum. But if you never get out of the gate, you never hit your targets in the first place, then you never have an opportunity to allow that momentum, that flywheel to start working. So think about the big goal that you wrote down at the beginning of the year. Like, you're like, man, this year I want to make 250 grand. This year I want to make 80 grand. This year I want to get to 12% body fat. This year I want to be the best dad ever. At the end of the year, when I look back, I want to go, I was the best dad ever this year. What if we could do that for you in 6 months? Would that be exciting? What if we could fast track this? And so that's what we do. We try to get our goals hit as fast as possible. And I'm going to cover 3 things that we do to hit our goals, 3 things that you can do to hit your goals faster. Very simple. Number 1, plan and targets. Okay? So when we go through and we look at the 10X Growth Conference, for example, we go and we look at the inventory of seating that we have, okay? How many seats are available in the arena? We got 12,000 and change seats available in the arena. Now what we got to do is we got to figure out how many go into each section, how many people bought at the last event. You know, people purchase their events a year in advance for our conference so they can get an amazing deal and they can secure the best seats. That happens every year. Okay, so what can we do to, month by month, as we're moving through the year, this is a 12-month plan, right? We're already planning the GrowthCon after this. So when we start looking at the venue, we start looking at the inventory of seats available, we have to start moving into a plan. Now, if you know anything about the event business, then you know that when you launch the event and when you're about 45 days out from the event, you sell about, I don't know, 35% of your tickets here and about maybe 50% of your tickets here. And then in here, you sell the difference, 15%. This is where you develop wrinkles and gray hair and you lose sleep, right? Because you know that you've got the biggest movement of your seats are coming at the time when everything is the most compressed. Okay? This is the typical program for selling events. Now, what we want to do is we're like, okay, how do we get to the point where 45 days out, we're 100% sold out? So what we do is we say, okay, we know that we're going to sell 30% of our seats when we launch sales, when we launch the event. Okay? So now what we have to do is we have to figure out how to come up with the remaining 70% of tickets. And we have to do that by a deadline. Now, I'm going to be fully transparent. Our initial deadline to have the event sold out, my target was to have it sold out by December 31st. We missed that, okay? So, but we had the target, right? So what we do is we go, okay, well, it is, let's see, March at the time. This is March of 2019. We get our big launch pop from the people that were at the last event. Now, in March of 2019, we're figuring out how many more months do we have till December 31st, and then how many seats do we need to sell each month in order to hit the target. So what we start doing is we start saying, like, it starts as an idea up top, like whatever your goal is. I want to make 100 grand this year. I want to make $3 million this year. I want to lose 30 pounds this year. You start with the big goal up top, okay? Now what you have to do is you have to move down into the plan to start making it work. You have to know, like, if you're doing a plan for 12 months, when you show up the next day, what are you doing that's moving you closer to the target that you have? Because if you don't know what to do, you will waste a day. If you don't know what to do when something bad happens, when you have a bad phone call or a deal falls through that you thought was a sure thing, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend dumps you, and you show up and it just, you don't have purpose, you don't have direction, you don't have intention, you don't have focus. Like, when that happens, that's when you get off track. And the further you go down that road, the more likely it is that you're going to completely derail and you're not going to hit your target, okay? So we have to figure out, what is the plan every single month in between? How many tickets do we need to sell each month in order to hit the sellout target by December 31st? So we go through and we're like, the target is 100 tickets a day. Okay? So now I'm like, okay, well, we've got, I'm just going to use round numbers here. I'll use 10,000, okay? So we've got 10,000 seats available. And if you're talking income and you want to make 150 grand this year and you made 70 grand last year, you're like, I'm starting with 70 grand. Now you need to figure out how to get the next 80, right? So we're starting the event, let's say there's 10,000 seats. We're starting the cycle with 3,000 seats sold, okay, 30%. So now I need to figure out where the remaining 7,000 tickets are coming from. So I got March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 8 months. 7,000 divided by 8 months, I think that gets me 12, maybe 900. Let's call it 900 tickets a month. It gives a little buffer, right? So now my target is 900 tickets a month, okay? 30 days in a month, 30 tickets a day, gets me my 900 tickets a month. So my target's going to be 30 seats a day. That's going to be extremely difficult to do a year out from the event, because you got to start getting really creative with how things are happening. Now, if you're doing this for income, it's a little easier, right? I have to keep people interested with offers. I have to include tickets with things. I have to start like pulling all of the different pieces of inventory and levers that I have to get creative to start making enough of a case for somebody to make a commitment for something that's like a year away. It's really hard to do, okay? Now for you, let's say in your example, you want to get to $150,000 this year. Okay? So you want to get to 150K this year in income, and you finished last year, what did I say? I think 70,000? Okay. So you need to figure out where you're going to get your 80K from. Doing everything that you did last year is going to get you to 70K. So you need to figure out what you're going to do different. Now, if I'm in a sales role where I can control my production, what I need to start doing is I need to start going, okay, it's January. I've got 12 months to make another 80K. $7,000 a month is what I'm looking for. I already got the 70K. I'm trying to get the additional 7. So what's this mean? If there's 4 weeks in a month, that means I got to do $1,750 a week. Okay? What I'm doing is I'm starting way up top with the goal, and I'm bringing it down to the simplest, most basic form of what I need to do today in order to get to the target. If you stay focused up here and you don't take the time to come back through, what do I need to do today? What happens is the actions that you take on a daily basis do not move you closer to your goal, and you waste time. And when you waste time, you experience loss of confidence, you experience loss of momentum, you're not seeing any wins, you're not seeing any progress. You're like, nah, I don't want that goal anyways. 150 grand, 70 grand's plenty. 70 grand's enough. I'm comfortable with 70 grand. You start selling yourself out of the whole deal. So now I've got $1,750 a day, and I'm at $350 or $1,750 a week. Now I'm at $350 a day. I'm getting closer to my target. I'm making it more real, right? So that $350 a day, if I make $100 in commission per sale, then I need to sell 3.5 products a day. I got my number. Now I got my number. So if I'm already doing 2.5 products per day, now I just need to figure out how to increase my activity, increase my skill. Like I've gotten it down to the thing that I need to do on a daily basis. Furthermore, you could even go, if the 70 grand I'm making requires me to make 40 calls a day, if I want to double my sales by then and some, then I'm going to make 100 calls a day. Now, this may not seem real, but you can either find an excuse to not do it, or you can find a way to make it happen. It's up to you. It depends how bad you want that big goal. Okay? So what the first step in getting what you want is breaking it all the way down to, what do I need to do today? I need to have something right in front of me so that when I take my next step, I know I'm not going off of a cliff. I know I'm going in the exact direction I need to. This economizes your time. Okay? Okay, second thing. For us was promotion. For you, it's going to be promotion too. This is also, you could call this outflow. Press. Calls. Emails. Visits. Text messages. Social media posts. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So you've set the big target, and now you need to move into, what's the plan? What's the plan to hit this? What are my targets that I need to hit? That's step one. Step two is now I need to figure out how to promote, how to increase my promotion in order to get me the activity required to get the bar moving in the previous screen that we talked about with the phone calls, right? So the phone call in this example is the promotion. If you've got a money target, an income target, the promo for you is the phone call, the personal visit, the email, the follow-up call. That is the thing that will get you closer to the thing that you want, okay? So number one, you got to have a plan so that you know what to do today. The goal, just so you guys realize this, the goal is the big thing. The target is the thing you need to do today in order to get the goal, okay? So goal, I want to make $3 million a year. Target, I got to close 75 grand in business today. I got to make 40 phone calls today. I got to make 200 phone calls today. The target is what I need to do today. The goal, what's the thing that's going to get you excited? Okay? So then you got to figure out the promotion piece. Now for us, this is like massive promotion. We leverage every possible resource that we have. We do events, we do phone calls, we do emails, we do ads, we do social posts, we do contests, we have offers, we blah, 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 blah. Like we do all of these things. And if you want to hit your target and you're looking right now at going, how do I go from 70K to 150? How do I go more than double? And you're looking at your activity right now and you're going, I can't make more phone calls. So then what are your options? You got to get better, or you got to put more hours in your day, right? So you start working all this stuff out when your goal becomes real. But most of you guys at the beginning of the year, New Year's Eve, you wake up with a little bit of a hangover on New Year's Day. You're like, I don't want to write my goals down because I feel good about this year. Things are going to be great. You write down your goal. You never come back to it. And worse, you never even get out of the gates because just January 2nd, you don't even know what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you look back, you're like, God damn, I just wasted a whole day. That's what I do. I'm like, man, if I have an unproductive day, I know it at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I know it because I've broken it down to my target. So if at the end of the day, it's did I win or not? I don't know. Did you hit the target? That way you don't get 4 months into the year without a target and you're like, wait a second, I'm not even on track to hit my goal. And now the thing that you need to do to actually hit your target is completely unrealistic. Now you got to go from 40 calls a day, is what you were making last year. You go from 40 calls a day to 100 to hit your target, but because you waited 4 months to actually get serious about what you needed to do every day, now you need to make 350 calls a day, or you got to work 7 days a week, right? Now you're starting to give yourself things today that you're like, it's too big to even chew, right? So number one, you got to have a plan with targets. That's number one. Number two, you have to have the promotion. You have to be going out into the marketplace to get the thing that you want, using these different channels and these different mediums. And then number three is the thing that I just talked about a minute ago. You got to have target accountability. You got to have target accountability. You have to know at the end of the day if you did the thing that's going to get you closer or not. What we started doing is I'm doing the math in my head when we're getting close down to the wire on these ticket sales. Like what I'm doing is I'm going, okay, if the target now based on where we're at is 100 tickets a day is where we need to be. If we sell 70 tickets, the next day, I'm like, the target ain't 100 anymore. Now the target's 130 because I need to pick up the 30 tickets that I missed yesterday. Or if I've got 30 days left, I need to go 101 tickets a day because I got 30 days to do it. So the awareness of the activity that you're taking and where it's pushing you towards your goal will give you confidence, it'll give you clarity, it'll give you certainty because you've actually planned it out. It's like if I said, hey, go on a road trip and I didn't give you a destination and I didn't give you a map. Eventually you're going to be driving around going, what the hell am I doing? Where am I going? What's the purpose of this? You're going to get out into the middle of Texas, because I've been there. There ain't nothing out there, man. It's nasty. You're going to get out in the middle of Texas and you're going to be like, dude, this sucks. This road trip's terrible. If you have a real goal, this is how it should work. Okay? When I say, what's your goal for this year? You need to be able to say, without me asking you any questions, I want to make this much money because if I make this much money after taxes, it's going to equal this much money. And once I get that money, I'm going to put it here, 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 and here, because if I do that, it's going to get me here. That is a well thought out goal. Like, that is something that you can believe in. That's something that you can get behind. Dude, if you aren't willing to spend 2 or 3 hours to work all this stuff out for yourself, I promise you, you don't have a goal that you're committed to. The more committed you get to the goal and the target, and the more connected that you get to the thing that you want, and spending the time to work all this stuff out will increase your commitment. You know, it's like somebody that's sitting at a poker table and they're playing poker and they're in this game and they're up. Right? They're up money, but they can't get up away and they can't leave. And then their stack starts dropping, they start losing, and now they're like, man, I'm so committed to this table, I can't leave now. Or they're betting on a hand and they're so committed to that pot because the amount of money they got in, they can't walk away from it. Like the more commitment you have towards your goals and targets, the more time you spend with them, the more important they'll be and the more committed you'll be to doing the right things every day. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what a real goal is for you. You need to spend the time to figure out a real goal and a real target and what that means for your company and what you're going to spend the money on and how it's all going to, like, you need the time to map this out. Because once you do this, then what you need to do is then you're going to work all the way back down through all that math that I showed you and all that outflow, and you're going to be like, right now to do 100K in sales for a year, that means we're selling 4 pieces a month and we're making $250 per piece. That math don't work. I'm just using an example. But if you know this, if you know that this math works and you're like, hey, that means we make $250 a piece, now I need to double that. So I need to either sell 8 units a month Or I need to increase my fees or sell more expensive stuff so that I can make $500 a piece. This takes a little bit of time, guys. Like, it takes a little bit of time to get clear on this stuff, but I promise you, it will actually set you up to hit the thing that you're looking to hit. It'll set you up for success. Because if you don't do this, you're operating with the wrong information, you're operating with the wrong intensity, you're operating with the wrong estimation of how much work's going to be required to get the thing that you want, and then you're going to end up bailing on your goal. You've done it for years. This is not a new story. Like, most people that are on this, listening to this podcast or watching this right now, wherever you're watching it, most of you give up on your goals. That's why you don't hit them. Because you never figure out what you actually need to do to get them. The people that spend the time to do this, no matter what their skill level is, when Steve Spray came to work here, he just came working from a car dealership. I think he did constructions before that. Not the most intelligent person in the world. Dave Robards, not the most intelligent person in the world. Jared Glant, not the most intelligent person in the world. Like we aren't intelligent people. But what we do is we go, what do I want? And what do I need to do every single day to get there? And at the end of the day, I'm going to come up and I'm going to keep myself accountable for my target, and I'm going to go, did I make the phone calls? Did I set the appointments? Did I do the demos? Did I send the contract? Did I make the follow-up calls? Did I get the deal? It heightens your awareness, and that's the thing that empowers you so that every day, every action, you get obsessed, right? You get obsessed with this idea. The people that do big things are the ones who get obsessed about it, and you can't get obsessed about something that you're never thinking about. I promise you, you will have more success hitting your target if you do 3 simple things. Number 1, have a plan with targets. Number 2, promote. And then number 3, keep yourself accountable on a daily basis. So that every single day you know, am I getting closer or am I getting further away? If you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes this year, like every day at the end of the day, you know if you got closer or not. You either stopped smoking cigarettes, you went from smoking a pack a day to smoking a half a pack a day, you went from smoking 12 cigarettes down to smoking 6 cigarettes, or you smoked as many as you normally smoke. You're trying to drink, quit drinking. You either drank or you didn't. Like, you're trying to quit drugs. You either smoked or you didn't. Like, you need to break it down, your big goal down to, at the end of the day, did I get closer to it or further away? Only one of 2 choices. You either get closer or you get further away. And unless you know what the thing that you're measuring that day is specifically, you're not going to have the ability to gauge and make the adjustments necessary to hit your target. If I make a wrong turn, I want to know as fast as possible. I don't want to get, you know the movie Dumb and Dumber? You know, when he falls asleep, right? They're trying to go to Aspen. They end up in Iowa, right? He's falling asleep, you know, he makes the wrong turn. Next thing you know, they're out in the middle of nowhere and they're driving for 9 hours or 3 days or whatever. He's like, dude, you missed the freaking turn. Like, that's what most of you do with your goals because you have no markers along the way. Like, if they would have had a road sign that says Aspen is the other way, if he would have had that and he would have seen that sign, they would have turned around, they would have saved the time. So you got to plant these signs all along your year so that you know, am I going the right direction? Yes or no? Am I going the right direction? Yes? Okay, lean in. Am I going the right direction? Nope. Okay, I need to pull back and I need to change something. Your ability to hit your goals is entirely in your hands and nobody else's, but you have to be able to do this first. Later comes adding skill, later comes getting connected, later comes all that stuff, but the very first thing you need to do is you need to have a plan together. I do well off of lists. If somebody says, hey, you need to get these things done today, then I can go boom, boom, I can knock them all out, okay? And then at the end of the day, I'm like, I won. I got everything checked off my list. Or no, I didn't, and I got to add something to the next day. So look, I want you guys to hit your goals and targets